Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, dear devotees and pranams. Thank you all very much for joining in for our Krishna book study session. We're continuing chapter number 34. Let's start with the prayers. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरदुषे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वशमानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पाञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं हरिः ओं तत्सत्। आराध्य भगवान् व्रजेशतनया तद्धाम वृन्दावनं रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधू वर्गेण वा कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतं प्रमाणममलं प्रेम पुमर्तो महान् श्रीचैतन्य महाप्रभुर्मतमिदं तत्र धरणापर वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, thank you very much for joining in for our Krishna book study. So today we are going ahead with chapter number 34 of the Krishna book. So let me share my screen. So yesterday we had a very wonderful celebration of Rasa Purnima, right? I hope all of you all offered kheer to their lordships. I'm awaiting photographs from all the devotees who offered kheer to their lordships. So we would want to share, the photo of the nice Amrit Keli sweet rice we've offered to their lordships for their Rasa Purnima. I would also like to share with our gurus what all we devotees are doing to attract their mercy towards us. So please do share your photographs. So today we are going to go on to the chapter of Vidyadhara liberated and the demon Shankachuda killed. Right. So now we are moving from the esoteric pastimes, from the very confidential pastimes. We are moving to the killing of demons, which means again we are becoming situated in our constitutional position, sadhaka bhakta. Now we've got the glimpse. What is it to be the highest devotee of the Lord, right? To be completely self-surrendered, to be completely dependent, to want the pleasure of the Lord, self-sacrificing, sacrificing everything. That is the greatest position that we want to go. In order to reach there, wherever we are right now, so being situated with the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So the killing of the demons actually represents the killing of the various anarthas that is there in our hearts. Right? So now as we study how demon Shankachuda was killed, how Vidyadhara was liberated, we can pray to the Lord to kindly kill all of these demons that are situated in our hearts so that our hearts can become as soft as butter. Right? Raje prasidam navnita choram gopangananam cha dukula choram aneka janmarjita papa choram choragraganyam purusham namami. You want to plead with the butter thief, please steal my heart. And if Krishna has to steal our heart, what should we do? We should make our hearts as soft as butter. And if our heart has to be as soft as butter, where there is only place for love, then we have to ensure that all of these anarthas, like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, are all destroyed. Right? As we study these pastimes where Krishna is killing all of these demons, we can pray with a sincere heart. Oh Krishna, please kill these demons that are there in my heart. Right? The 6 demons that are always situated in my heart, because of which I'm not even able to perform devotional service properly. Please extinguish Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya from my heart, just like you killed these demons, Vidyadhara and Shankachuda. All right, let's move ahead. Devotees can raise your hands and quickly let's move on to the study of chapter number 34 of the Krishna book entitled Vidyadhara liberated and the demon Shankachuda killed. Okay, Sindhu Mataji. All right, go ahead, Mataji. Once upon a time. Sindhu Mataji, please unmute yourself. Okay, we'll come back to you. Sridhar Prabhu, please unmute yourself. Am I audible?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Please go ahead.
Chapter 34, Vidyadhara liberated and the demon Shankachuda killed. Hare Krishna. Once upon a time, a coward man in Vrindavana headed by Nand Maharaja decided to go to Ambikavana to observe the Shivaratri ceremony. The Rasalila was performed during the autumn, and after that next big ceremony is holy, or the Dola Yatra ceremony. Between the Dola Yatra ceremony and the Rasalila ceremony, there is an important ceremony called Shivaratri, which is especially observed by the Sattvic devotees of Lord Shiva. Sometimes the Vaishnava also observe the ceremony because they accept Lord Shiva as the foremost Vaishnava. But the function of Shivaratri is not observed very regularly by the Bhaktas or devotee of Krishna. Under the circumstances, Srimad Bhagavatam states that the Nanda Maharaja and the other coward men once upon a time desired. This means that they were not regularly observing the Shivaratri function, but they once upon a time they wanted to go to Ambikavana out of curiosity. Ambikavana is somewhere in Gujarat province and it's situated on the river of Saraswati. Yet we do not find any Saraswati river in Gujarat province. Although there is a river named Sabarmati in India, it's a big place of pilgrim are situated on nice rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Narmada, Godavari and Kaveri. Ambikavana was situated on the bank of Saraswati, and Nanda Maharaja and all other coward men went there. They very devotedly began to worship the deity of Lord Shiva and Ambika. In general practice, that whatever there is a temple of Lord Shiva, there must be another temple of Ambika or Durga, because Ambika is the wife of Lord Shiva and is the most escalated of the chaste woman. She does not live outside the association of her husband. After reaching Ambikavana, the cowherd men of Vrindavana first bathed themselves in the river Saraswati. If one goes to any place of pilgrim, his first duty to take bath and sometimes to shave his head. This is the first business. After taking bath, they worship the deities and then distributed charity to the holy place. According to the Vedic system, charity is given to the Brahmanas. It is stated in the Vedic Shastras that only the Brahmanas and the sannyasis can accept charity. The cowherd men from Vrindavana gave the Brahmanas cows decorated with golden ornaments and beautiful garlands. The Brahmanas are given the charity because they are not engaged in any business profession. They are supposed to be engaged in Brahmanical occupation as described in the Bhagavad Gita. Namely, they must be very learned and must perform austerities and penances. Now only must they themselves is learned, but they must also teach others. Brahmanas are not meant to the Brahmanas alone. They should create other Brahmanas also. If a man found who agrees to become Brahmana's disciple, he is also give the chance to become Brahmana. Yeah, the Brahmana is always engaged in the worship of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Brahmanas are eligible to accept all kinds of charity. But if the Brahmanas receive the excess charity, they are to be distributed for the service of Vishnu. In the Vedic sculpture, there are one is recommended to give the charity to the Brahmana, and by so doing, one please Lord Vishnu and all the demigods. The
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam Mataji.
Pranam, Prabhu. Right? So the qualities of a Brahmana, right? Patanam, Patanam, Yajanam, Yajanam, Dhana, and Pratigraha. These are the occupations, only occupational duties that the Brahmana has. Right? The Swadharma of a Brahmana. What do? Patanam, Patanam. They study the Vedic scriptures and they teach Vedic scriptures to others. Yajanam, Yajanam. They perform yajnas and they teach others how to perform the yajna. What is the yajna? Yajna Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Sumedasaha. This is a yajna for this age of Kali, right? And dhana and pratigraha. That means dhana means give charity, and pratigraha means to accept charity. And it is also Prabhupada is mentioning here, a Brahmana should not keep more than what is required, right? A Brahmana should not accumulate for the, afternoon meal, dinner, next day breakfast, like that, right? Like Rahastas, we do that. Okay, this money, the afternoon I'll pay this, evening I'll pay this, tomorrow morning I'll pay this vegetable, like that, right? But that is the duty of a grahastha, right? Because we need to give charity to the Brahmanas. But at the Brahmana level, what do? They only go and beg. And whatever charity they get, they just use it for the time being. And if there's something extra, they utilize it in the service of the Lord, right? Or they give it away, right? That's why dana and pratigraha, anything excess they receive, they give it in charity to the service of the Lord, or to so those in service of the Lord, the devotees, basically. So apart from this 6, a Brahmana should not engage in anything else. If you are engaged in anything else other than these 6, we can be sure I am not a Brahmana, right? So patanam, patanam, yajanam, yajanam, dana and pratigraha. These are the qualities, or these are the occupations of a Brahmana. So, Namo Brahmane Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagaditaya Krishnaya, Govindaya, Namo Namaha. Right? Krishna is especially pleased if such Brahmanas were engaged in these 6 activities. Right? Patanam, Patanam, Yajanam, Yajanam, Dana, Pratigraha. One who performs these 6 activities is a proper Brahmana, not just simply by birth, but because of his karma, right? So such a Brahmana, when he is worshipped, when he is pleased by, when we offer various kinds of charities to the Brahmanas, then when they are pleased, then it is said that Lord Vishnu is also pleased. Right? So it is said that Lord Vishnu is pleased when, when we offer ghee and other things on the, on the fire sacrifice, the tongue of the fire, the flames is said to be the tongue of Lord Vishnu, where Lord Vishnu accepts all the offerings. Similarly, through a Brahmana also, Krishna accepts all the food, whatever you give, right? If you give charity to a Brahmana and if the Brahmana is very pleased with you, that means you can be sure that Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna is also satisfied with That's why it's called Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitacha. Similarly, this is also a very good opportunity to feed the cows. Go Mata, cow is also our mother. So if we feed the cows and the cows are happy and satisfied, they give profuse milk. And then they also, when they are satisfied, Krishna is also satisfied. So these are some of the points that Prabhupada is indicating here. How in the Vedic system, right, which is continued even now, that charity is given to those Brahmanas who engage in these kind of activities, who are real Brahmanas, right? And of course, the festival that I want to discuss today is about the festival that takes place at Ambikavana. Ambika is referring to Durga Devi, the wife of Lord Shiva. And this period in between the Jola Yatra and Rasalila, there is an important festival which we celebrate, which is Shivaratri, right? Although we don't know so much of details how to observe Shivaratri, I have heard that devotees are awake the whole of the night and they do abhishek to Shivalinga and all that. There's procedure for that, but we don't regularly do that as part of our ISKCON celebrations. That's why here also they say that in this particular year they are going to celebrate that. So it seems like it was not regularly celebrated, but of course we know that studying these pastimes would help us advance in devotional service, because you're going to study about the worship of Lord Shiva, who is Vaishnavana Yata Shambhu. So when we're going to study about Lord Shiva, we can be very sure that Krishna is going to be pleased by our study for today. Right? So let's see how this auspicious Shivaratri festival is observed and what do the people do. All right, let's go ahead. Who's reading next? Okay, Sindhu Mataji, are you back? Okay, Mataji is back with her Dais Darshan. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, go ahead. The pilgrims take a bath.
Hare Bol, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
The pilgrims take a bath, worship the deity, and give charity. They are also recommended to fast one day. They should go to a place of pilgrimage and stay there at least for 3 days. The first day is spent fasting, and at night they can drink a little water because water does not break the fast. The cowherd men headed by Nanda Maharaja spent that night on the bank of the Saraswati. They fasted all day and drank a little water in the night. But while they were taking rest, a great serpent from the nearby forest appeared before them and hungrily began to swallow up Nanda Maharaja. Nanda cried out helplessly, "My dear son Krishna, please come and save me from this danger. This serpent is swallowing me." When Nanda Maharaja cried for help, all the cowherd men got up and saw what was happening. They immediately took up the burning logs and began to beat the snake to kill it. But in spite of being beaten with burning logs, the serpent was not about to give up swallowing Nanda Maharaja. At that time, Krishna appeared on the scene and touched the serpent with his lotus feet. Immediately upon being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna, the serpent shed its reptilian body and appeared as a very beautiful demigod named Vidyadhara. His bodily features were so beautiful that he appeared to be worshipable. There was a luster and effulgence emanating from his body, and he was garlanded with a gold necklace. He offered obeisances to Lord Krishna and stood before him with great humility. Krishna then asked the demigod, "You appear to be a very nice demigod and to be favored by the goddess of fortune. How is it that you performed such abominable activities that you got the body of a serpent?" The demigod then began to narrate the story of his previous life. "My dear Lord," he said, "in my previous life I was named Vidyadhara and was known all over the world for my beauty. Because I was a celebrated personality, I used to travel all over in my airplane. While traveling, I saw a great sage named Angira. He was very ugly, and because I was very proud of my beauty, I laughed at him. Due to this sinful act, I was condemned by the great sage to assume the form of a serpent. One should note here that before being favored by Krishna, a person is always under the modes of material nature, however elevated he may be materially. Vidyadhara was a materially elevated demigod and he was very beautiful. He also held a great material position and was able to travel all over by aeroplane. Yet he was condemned to become a serpent in his next life. Any materially elevated person can be condemned to an abominable species of life if he is not careful. It is a misconception that after reaching the human body, one is never degraded. Vidyadhara himself stated that even though he was a demigod and he was condemned to become a serpent, that because he was touched by the lotus feet of Krishna, he immediately came to Krishna consciousness. He admitted, however, that in his previous life, he was actually sinful. A Krishna conscious person knows that he is always the servant of Krishna. He is the most insignificant, and whatever good he does is by the grace of Krishna and the spiritual master. The demigod Vidyadhara continued to speak to Sri Krishna. "Because I was very proud of the exquisite beauty of my body," he said, I derided the ugly features of the great sage Angira. He cursed me for my sin and I became a snake. Now I consider that this curse by the sage was not at all a curse. It was a great benediction for me. Had he not cursed me, I would have not assumed the body of a serpent and would not have been kicked by your lotus feet and thus freed from all the material contamination.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So this is, we are reminded of Kuveran, what is that? Nala Kuveran Manigriva, right? Even they were cursed by Narada Muni, and that curse actually turned into a blessing where they became trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, and they were also similarly delivered by Lord Sri Krishna, right? Which comes as part of the Damodar Leela, the Leela that we're celebrating this entire month. Right, where Krishna pushes the motor, both the trees fall down, they assume the form of beautiful Gandharvas, right? And then they go back to the heavenly planets. So in that way, this Vidyadhara also, was cursed to become a snake because he criticized someone for their looks, right? Angira Muni, right? And because he was over puffed up, thinking that oh, I'm so handsome, and he thought that the sage Angira was had ugly features, and then he derided Angira Muni, and because of that he was cursed by the sage. Right, of course, we should not act in a way that we get cursed by devotees or sages, and wait for the law to appear and deliver us. That's not the lesson here. The lesson here is we should even if a person is all full of opulences, even if a person is Gandharva, even if the person has got opulences like flying via airplanes, etc., even if somebody so beautiful, etc., so learned, etc., simply one small mistake can make us lose even the human form of life, right? This Vidyadhara was a Gandharva, but he became a snake of all living entities because of his criticizing mentality, right? Because of this mentality to criticize others and to speak ill of others, right? He got this body of a snake, and like always, one of the other lessons that we draw here is whenever the sages or the munis or the rishis curse us, right, in our life, it could be chastisement of our senior devotees, corrections by our senior devotees. All of these things are actually helping us become better people, helping us obtain the mercy of the Lord in a better way. So we should always consider such chastisements and such corrections by our seniors as opportunities to improve our devotional services, opportunities to become better human beings, to become better devotees, so that we can access the mercy of Guru and Gauranga more. So in this way, we see here that with these important lessons given to us, Krishna actually delivers the demigod Vidyadhara. And now Prabhupada is going to give us further lessons on this. Let's see what Prabhupada is saying. Okay, Anusha Mataji, please go ahead. In material existence,
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In material existence, four things are very valuable: to be born in a decent family, to be very rich, to be very learned, and to be very beautiful. These are considered to be material assets. Unfortunately, without Krishna consciousness, these material assets sometimes become sources of sin and degradation. Hare Krishna. Despite Vidyadhara's being a demigod and having a beautiful body, he was condemned to the body of a snake due to pride. Therefore, from this incident, we can learn that those who are too proud of their material assets or who are inimical towards others are degraded to the bodies of snakes. A snake is considered to be the most cruel and envious living entity. But those who are human beings and are envious of others are considered to be even more vicious than snakes. The snakes can be charmed or controlled by mantras and herbs, but a person who is envious cannot be controlled by anyone. My dear Lord, Vidyadhara continued, now, since I think I have become freed from all kinds of sinful activities, I am asking your permission in return to my abode, the heavenly planets. This request indicates that persons who are attached to fruitive activities, desiring promotion to the comforts of higher planetary systems, cannot achieve their ultimate goal of life without the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita that the less intelligent want to achieve material benefits and therefore worship different kinds of demigods, but that they actually get the benedictions from the demigods through the permission of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Demigods have no power to bestow material profit. Even if one is attached to material benedictions, he should worship Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and ask him. Krishna is completely able to give even material benedictions. There is a difference, however, between asking material benedictions from the demigods and asking them from Krishna. Dhruva Maharaja worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead for a material benediction, but when he actually achieved the favor of the Supreme Lord and saw him, he was so satisfied that he refused to accept any material benediction. The intelligent person does not worship the demigods or asks favors from them. He directly becomes Krishna consciousness, and if he has any desire for material benefit, he asks Krishna, not the demigods. Can I continue, Mataji? Vidyadhara, awaiting Krishna's permissions to
Okay, Mataji, we will stop here. Let's discuss that. That's very important. Okay, so what is that? Akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradi. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param, right? Akama sarva kama, whether we are full of desires or akama, whether we have no desires. Moksha kama udaradi, whether we want to attain liberation from this material world, from this material miseries. Right? Tivrena bhakti yogena, tivra, with determination. What do we have to do? Perform bhakti yoga. Yajeta purusham param, right? Prabhupada says in so many places that devotional service can only be rendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We may worship or we may do puja of different demigods for acquiring this, A, B, C, D, E, right? Because our desires are so many, right? And the demigods may even fulfill our desires. But that Prabhupada explains is like a dealing, or it's like a what do you call a deal between like a shopkeeper and a customer, right? If I have 10 rupees, I go and ask for a dairy milk chocolate, and the shopkeeper will give me the dairy milk chocolate every day. I give him 10 rupees, he will give me. On the same day, we give him 100 rupees and ask him for 10 dairy milk, he will give me, right? As long as he gets the value for the chocolate, he will give me. He's not bothered. Even if I stand there and eat all the 10 chocolates in front of him, he'll be waiting. And when this customer is going to ask for the 11th chocolate, I'm getting my business, right? So as long as he satisfies me by giving me the money that I need, I'm going to continue to give him the chocolates, although it may be very harmful to this person. It may spoil his teeth in the first instance, and it may lead to several other complications later on. But the shopkeeper is not bothered, right? Because there is no relationship between the shopkeeper and the customer. It is only a deal. It's a transaction. I give you money, you give me what I want, right? But the relationship with the Supreme Personality of God, it is not transaction based. It is heart based. It is love based, right? That is why if we go and ask Krishna, I will give you 100 rupees, give me 10 dairy milk chocolates, Krishna will probably not give us the dairy milk chocolates, because it is not good for us. We ourselves know. But then since we are under the three modes of material nature, we think that this is what will give us pleasure, right? So when we are in the three modes of material nature, then according to the three modes, there are so many illustrations, there are so many what do you call rituals mentioned in the Shastras, in the Karma Kanda sections of the Vedas, that tell us go and worship Lord Shiva, you will get a beautiful wife like Uma Devi or Parvati, and go and worship Parvati, you will get a very nice husband like Lord Shiva. Go and worship Goddess Saraswati, you will become extremely good in learning, and all that is all given. Right? So when we go to demigods and worship, we may get what they are saying or what we asked for, but it may not be good for us in the long run. Right? Janma Ishwari Shruti Shriber. Right? The devotees say that Janma means birth in a very opulent family. Janma Aishwarya, a lot of wealth, a lot of beauty, right? Shri, and Shri means opulence and beauty and all of this. A devotee does not want it, because what happens when we get all of those things, we also get a lot of accessories along with it, right? Just like when we purchase a two-wheeler, right? We get this helmet, we get that what do you call several accessories with it, like that. So when we get a birth in a high family, when we get very opulent family and everything, what happens, what comes along with it? The pride also comes along with it. Oh, I am born in such a wonderful family. Oh, I am a Brahmana. Oh, I know all these verses. And what happens? The humility that is necessary for our ultimate destination, which is back home, back to Godhead, we somehow lose that humility. We somehow get that pride. So that's why the devotees say, I don't want all of these things, right? Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shribi, right? Because Madha Puman, it will increase our mother, it will increase our pride. So I don't want all of this. But what do we do as conditioned people of this material world and the three modes of material nature? We want this, we want that, we want a job, we want a mobile, we want a big house. The list never ends. We have so many things to ask for. Right? Even if you are in that situation, Lord Krishna is saying, Akama sarva kamo moksha kamo dhardi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Okay, whatever you may want, you ask me, Krishna is saying. If it is good for you, I will give you. Otherwise, I will not give you. But please ask me. Except that when the gopis want to get Lord Krishna as their husband, then they are worshipping Katyayani Devi, right? The month next to Kartik is the Katyayani Vrata month, right? So where the gopis are praying to Krishna, to Katyayani Devi to get Krishna as their husband, which is okay. As long as you want only Krishna, does not matter. You can pray to anybody and everybody. You can pray to Krishna also. Krishna, I want you as my husband. Or you can pray to the demigods. You can pray to Lord Shiva. I want Krishna as my husband. That's perfectly okay. You pray to anybody if you want Krishna, if you want to serve Krishna. But if you have any other desire, you better worship Krishna only. Why? Because only Krishna will give us what is good for us. Whereas the other demigods may give us some things, but those things may not be good for us. Right? So that's why Krishna is saying, Yajantihi avidhi purvakam. That means if you worship the demigods for any material benefits, that is avidhi purvakam. That is not according to the rules of worship. And even if you get what you pray for, that may not be good for you. Right? So for our ultimate all benefit, eternal benefit, we need to worship only Krishna and no one else. Right? Let's go ahead. Vidyadhara awaiting permission. Rajneesh Prabhu, awaiting Krishna's permission. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. Yes.
Vidyadhar awaiting Krishna's permission to return to heavenly planets said, now because I have been touched by your lotus feet, I am relieved of all kinds of material pain. You are the most powerful of all my mystics. You are the original supreme personality of Godhead. You are the master of all devotees. You are the proprietor of all planetary systems, and therefore I am asking your permission. You may accept me as fully surrendered unto you. I know very well that persons who are constantly engaged in chanting your holy name attain release from all sinful reactions, and certainly persons who are fortunate enough to be personally touched by your lotus feet are free. Therefore I am sure that I am now relieved of the curse of Brahmana simply by seeing you and being touched by your lotus feet. In this way, Vidyadhar got permission from Lord Krishna to return to his home in the higher planetary system after receiving the permission from Lord Krishna to return to his home in higher planetary system. After receiving this permission, he circum circumla circum circumambulated the Lord and offered his respectful obeisances unto him, and then he returned to his heavenly planet. Thus Nanda Maharaja was relieved of the imminent danger of being devoured by the snake. The cowherd men who had come to execute the ritualistic function of worshipping Lord Shiva and Ambika, finished their business and prepared to return to Vrindavan. While returning, they record the wonderful activities of Krishna by relating the incident of Vidyadhar's deliverance. They became more attached to Krishna. They had come to worship. They have they have come to worship
And
Lord Shiva and
similarly, the gopis worshipped the goddess Katyayani to become more and
similarly
more.
the gopis worshipped the goddess Katyayani to become more and more attached to Krishna. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that persons who are attached to worshipping demigods like Lord Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and Chandra for some personal benefit are less intelligent and have forgotten the real purpose of life. But the cowherd men, inhabitants of Vrindavan, were no ordinary men. However, they did they did for Krishna. If one perhaps demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to become more attached to Krishna, that is approved. But if one goes to demigods for some personal benefit, that is condemned.
Hare Krishna.
After
Thank
this,
you, Matt.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So very, very clear cut. Prabhupada has mentioned here. Right? If our desire is simply to serve Krishna, become more attracted towards Krishna, to render devotional service unto Krishna, does not matter. We can pray to the demigods, we can pray to Katha, we can pray to Lord Shiva, we can pray to Lord Brahma, we can pray to Mother Saraswati, right? That's why we pray. What is that? Narayanam namaskrityam naran chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udhirayet. Oh, we take the permission of Saraswati Devi, pray to Saraswati Devi. Oh, please help me. I'm going to start the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Let me understand Srimad Bhagavatam with the right perspective, and may I be more attracted towards the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Right? So when we want attraction towards Lord Krishna, we can pray to Saraswati Devi. We can pray to Vyasadeva. We can pray to demigods. We can pray to everyone, anyone and everyone whom we think can bestow us with Krishna Bhakti. Right? But if you have any other desire, then it's very clearly mentioned here that we should worship only Lord Sri Krishna. Okay. And one more point that I wanted to highlight here. What was that? Yeah. So, although they had the cowherd men, they had come to worship, what do you call, Lord Shiva and Parvati for the Shivaratri festival. But then what happened? This wonderful incident happened of how Nanda Maharaj got caught by this Vidyadhara, who was in the form of a snake. And then what happened when they were going back? All of them were glorifying Krishna. Oh, you know what happened? Krishna did this. Krishna killed the snake. Krishna protected Nanda Maharaj from the snake. And in this way, although they had come to worship Shiva and Parvati, they became more attached to Krishna because they were discussing more and more of Lord Krishna's Leela, how he protected Nanda Maharaj, how he killed the snake, etc., etc. So anything and every activity that we perform, glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will actually bring us closer to Krishna. And one more thing is how Vidyadhara is actually glorifying Lord Sri Krishna. Like they say, the four levels are there to the prayers. When you go to pray also, first you have to glorify the Lord. Second, we have to talk about our own frailties and inabilities and our own lowly position. And third element of the prayer is expressing gratefulness to the Lord. Thank you, Lord. You've given me so much. I'm not eligible for all these, but you've given me so much. And the fourth aspect of the prayer is only asking something to the Lord. Right? So first is glorification, then expressing humility, expressing honesty. Actually, my own position is so low, and yet, oh Lord, you're so magnanimous. I'm so grateful for all of your blessings. And then the fourth aspect is only to ask for something. Even if you have something to ask for, to first glorify, then to express our humility, and then express gratefulness, and then only we should ask. Right? Now, what do we do? Immediately, as soon as we go to temple, we have already a laundry list to ask for. I want this, I want this, I want good marks, I want a job, I want a 3 BHK, I want the latest mobile, I want a car. Right? Then where is the time to glorify the Lord? So that's why how to pray also, even when we have material desires, it's clearly given in the Shastras how we should do it. So first we should glorify the Lord. Then I should accept my own position, my own lowly position, that I'm not at all eligible to get any of this. But Lord, you're so merciful that I'm so grateful to you that you've given me so many things. The sun, the moon, the vegetables, the fruits, the flowers, and everything, right? So that I can enjoy myself. I can live in this world with all the comfort. And then we ask, oh Lord, this is the problem that is pestering me. If you like, please help me get over this problem so that I can perform devotional service in a way that's more pleasing to you. So like that is the fourth level of asking what we want from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All right, let's move ahead. Who's reading next? Okay, Leela Nandini Mataji, go ahead. After this incident, now we're going on to the next Leela. Yes.
नहीं Hare Krishna माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Af-
Yes, ma'am.
After this incident, on a very pleasant night, Krishna and his elder brother Balrama, who are inconceivably powerful, went into the forest of Vrindavana. They were accompanied by the damsels of Rajabhumi and they began to enjoy their company. The young damsels of Raja were very nicely dressed and anointed with pulp of sandalwood and decorated with flowers. The moon was shining in the sky, surrounded by glittering stars. The breeze was blowing, bearing the aroma of mallika flowers, and bumblebees were mad after the aroma. Taking advantage of the pleasing atmosphere, Krishna and Balrama began to sing very melodiously. The damsels became so absorbed in the rhythmical song that they almost forgot themselves. Their hair loosened, their clothes slackened, and their garlands began to fall to the ground. At that time, while Krishna, Balrama, and damsels were so much absorbed, almost in madness, a demonic associate of Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly planets, appeared on the scene. The demon's name was Sankachuda because on his head there was a valuable jewel resembling a conch shell. Just as the two sons of Kuvera had been puffed up over their wealth and opulence and did not care for Narada Muni's presence, this Shankachuda was also puffed up with material opulence. He thought that Krishna and Balrama were two ordinary cowherd boys enjoying the company of many beautiful girls. Generally, in the material world, a person with riches thinks that all beautiful women should be enjoyed by him. Shankachuda also thought that since he belonged to the rich community of Kuvera, he, not Krishna and Balrama, should enjoy the company of so many beautiful girls. He therefore decided to take charge of them. He appeared before Krishna, Balrama, and the damsels of Vraja and began to lead the girls away to the north. He commanded them as if he were their proprietor and husband, despite the presence of Krishna and Balrama. Being forcibly taken away by Shankachuda, the damsels of Braja called out the names of Krishna and Balrama for protection. The two brothers immediately began to follow them, taking up big logs of sala wood. Sandalwood, no, Mataji? Sala wood.
Yeah.
Because of sandalwood in their hands. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. They called to the gopis. We are coming at once to chastise this demon. Very quickly they reached Shankachuda. Thinking the brothers too powerful, Shankachuda left the company of the gopis and ran in fear for his life. But Krishna would not let him go. He entrusted the gopis to the care of Balrama and followed Shankachuda wherever he fled. Krishna wanted to take the valuable jewel, resembling a conch shell, from the head of a demon. After following him a very short distance, Krishna caught him, struck his head and his fist and killed him. He then took the valuable jewel and returned. In the presence of all damsels of Vraja, he presented the valuable jewel to his elder brother Balrama. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 34th chapter of Krishna. Vidyadhara liberated the demon Shankachuda killed. Hare Krishna, Mataji Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So very wonderful, right?
Thank
Pride
you.
goeth before a fall, right? If we think that I am the enjoyer, I am the controller, I should be the proprietor of everything, then we will be shown our real position by Krishna, right? Punar Muchiko Bhava. Right? If we don't understand our position, then we will be shown our position. Right? Our position is servant of the Lord. But if we try to act smart, then we will be shown our position. Either we have to be humble, or we will be humiliated, or we will be humbled, right? Because that is the position of a servant. A servant should always take a humble position. But if the servant tries to become the master, then the master will show the servant his own position, right? So we don't, even if that happens, that is also a very wonderful situation to be in, because we want to be humbled by the Lord. We want to be corrected by our superiors. We want to be corrected so that we can slowly and steadily move on the path of bhakti, right? We are all having so much of anarthas. That's why we are in the material world. So unless we are corrected by our seniors, how will we learn? How will we move forward in our path of bhakti? So if we don't have humility, we will be humbled by the senior devotees, and we should take that as a corrective measure for our own purification. That's going to help us advance in Krishna consciousness. So in this way, these two important leelas teach us about the qualities of humility and the quality of not having this false pride, and not having this quality of enviousness, and not having this quality of criticizing others. When we develop all these qualities, we will automatically become dear to Lord Sri Krishna. Okay, so we'll end our session here. Let's do Harinam Sankirtan, and then devotees can show up your wonderful darshan, and then we'll end our session here. And tomorrow is Saturday, so we will meet on, we'll meet tomorrow for our Brahma Muhurta chanting session at 5 o'clock. But for our next Bhagavad Gita session, the next Monday, Tuesday will be the last two sessions of Bhagavad Gita. We will be completing our 18th chapter. I request devotees to join us Monday, Tuesday for our concluding sessions of Bhagavad Gita. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we will continue with Krishna book study. And then from the next Monday, we will do Bhagavatam. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Granth Krishna book ki jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Astatyadeeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Tadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Gauranitai Jai Jai Jagannath Jai Baladev Jai Jai Subhadra Jaya Jaya Sudarshan Jaya Bala Gopal Jaya Radha Rasa Bihari Radha Madha Jaya Radha Sham Sundar Radhe Radhe Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radhe Radhe Jaya Radha Rasa Bihari Radhe Radhe Jai Radha Sham Sundar Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe 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 Shri Radhe Jai Shat Goswami Jai Guru Parampara Jai Prabhupada Jai Guru Deva Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol जय 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 श्री राधे श्याम जय 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 वृंदावन धाम पावन राधे तेरो नाम पावन श्री वृंदावन धाम Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, dear devotees. Able to see Rohini Mataji, Shri Prabhu, Harjeet Mataji, and Namish Prabhu, Shobha Mataji, Shubhangi Keshi Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, Anusha Mataji, Rajneesh Prabhu, and all the devotees. Kalpakavali Mataji, thank you very much for joining in. Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha, Paditanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Shri Gurudev ki Jai. So thank you very much, devotees, for joining in. We've been changing our timings here, there, everywhere, but you all are so kind. Now we will keep it at 11 o'clock only. So please do join us at this time. I'm so grateful for all of your devotees association on Zoom. Thank you very much. So we'll meet on Monday for our Bhagavad Gita study, and we'll meet tomorrow and every day 5 a.m. for our Brahma Muhurta chanting session. I'll request devotees to join for 1 or 2 rounds. Like I mentioned, even if you are not able to join for the entire session, join us for 1 or 2 rounds. I saw Sindhu Mataji message me. Mataji, I joined for 2 rounds. So I'm very grateful to Sindhu Mataji. Thank you. I would request all the devotees to kindly do that. If you're not able to join for the entire session, please do join us for 1 or 2 rounds. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada